Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and wait for YouTube to give me the okay to continue. I'm hoping that the thumbnail updated as it were, because it's like the second time I'm having to check this. Shouldn't be the second time. Come on, bubby. Yeah. So, you pulling me up? I'm gonna assume yes. There's always like a little delay between. What now? I'm gonna have to do some troubleshooting. Okay. Did it though. I'm sorry guys, if the stream has started, YouTube has not notified me yet because fuck me. In any case, yes, it started. Okay, hello guys, Admin Voss here, and today I got something for y'all. And oh boy, I'll start off with the rest of the agenda until May. I've got 2 new JoJo videos coming out, and I've had like a few projects open for the longest time, but unfortunately, it's a little more difficult than it seems. But 2 new JoJo videos coming out. They should be pretty soon. And actually today, I don't know if you guys recall a really shitty ripoff of the Avengers that was produced, directed, and filmed in Russia. That is going to be Voss viewed. So look for that soon because that should be a real treat. And I think that'll tide us over until May. I want to save those videos for that monthly and not waste any more time here, fellas. This is about the new hit TV show on the Netflix called 13 Reasons Why. And again, before I go off on my little tangent, because this will be the main crux of this live stream, I don't want to make anyone feel bad for liking this show. I personally think it's trash, but if you can like something like this unironically, by all means, please do. Oh, goy. And I don't want to start off on a bad foot, so let's go ahead and see what the show does right. There's a few things. Again, I think it's trash, but it's not complete garbage. It just reminds me way too much of those like One Tree Hill or whatever, those shows that just kind of rerun on television. You don't usually end up watching them on purpose. They're just kind of there. What does it do good? It brings up dialogue about suicide. Obviously, that's the whole point of the show. Is oh yeah, this girl kills herself, and now there's people who are involved. That's basically the premise. Those people, those 13 people, are the reason why she killed herself, and suicide should not be something that is not talked about, because honestly, how many times in your life have you thought, wow, it'd be easier to like shoot myself or something, and it's not a legitimate consideration. Unless it is, then in that case, get help. And you should never have to feel bad about having those kinds of feelings. You should be able to talk to people about it, and so far that has not been presented in this show at all, but I'll save that for later. The premise is interesting, but whenever I first heard about it, I'd imagined something a little differently, like 13 people planning to make this girl kill herself, and they'd have to like keep it a secret amongst all of themselves. That to be fair, that's kind of setting a high expectation for me. I was expecting some deception and espionage, and then I got this. It's a show for kids. Let's be honest. The same demographic who love Tom Green books like The Fault in Our Stars. If you like The Hunger Games, The Maze Runner, any of that young adult literature, as a friend of mine pointed out, this is something that's targeted for angsty teen girls. That's perfect. That's the perfect way to sum up the demographic. And, I mean, that's fine if you apply to one of those categories. I'm not saying that the show is not relatable. Being in that technical demographic of people in high school, it's... certain characters are. To a point. But, oh goy, is this kind of like... Let's start with the characters. Because that's a big problem. These characters are ridiculous. They are not accurate representations of like human beings. They look like them, but they do not act like them. It's basically cut and paste. Here is the jock. They are dumb, but strong. Here is the outcast. You know, just playing into archetypes that are tried and true and honestly not all that original. There's literally Grease Lightning. There's the Fonz in this, which does not make any sense at all. It just seems like the show was not necessarily in touch. And I know there's a book. It's based off of a book. But I don't know that I haven't read the book. I really don't intend to after watching this. I don't know how well that translates into this, to how much of the material was changed, because you can't be this out of touch. There's a few instances specifically, like this Fonz character who's driving like a 70s muscle car. He's got his hair slicked back, the white t-shirt, the leather jacket. Like, considering the setting of where this is supposed to take place, this character does not make sense at all. It's like a sore thumb. I don't know whom thought this character should be interpreted this way, but it's awkward. That character's placement is awkward. And oh god. The whole thing is she's left these tapes, right? These fucking cassette tapes. A, who the fuck is leaving cassette tapes in 2017? B, for these people to receive these cassette tapes and listen to them, that would require them to have some sort of cassette reader, like a boombox or a Walkman. Those are brought up, but in the worst possible way. The main protagonist, he asks his dad, "Hey, what is that big ass radio you got in your fucking garage? What is that?" You're not that young to not know about it. It's not like you've never seen any piece of media that takes place probably like 10 years before you were born. It's not that old. It's really not. So for these people to be like, I've never heard of a fax machine. Fuck right off with that. Whew. Again, the premise. I expected way too much out of this. And I thought this was just me being, a hipster fucking asshole, shitting on things that are popular, because I have a tendency to do that, and none of them have got me as heated as this. Maybe because, like, everyone's talking about it or whatever, but even then, like, I don't really mention, like, the Kardashians or anything, things that are like the TV show or whatever. I don't usually like to, but like this is sweeping a whole lot of people near and dear to me. Again, if you like the show, don't feel bad. Alright, don't listen to me grumble on. But I hate Hannah. I hate her with a passion. At the beginning of the story, it starts off with her, the aftermath of her suicide, and they're having these little sessions about mental health, and if you're considering suicide, if you are suicidal, talk to people. Again, not a bad message, but that doesn't apply to Hannah. I've only seen up to 2 episodes. I didn't finish the first one when I first saw it, but I literally just finished 2 episodes before streaming this. So, it's still pretty fresh in my mind. Hannah is a complete dickhead. She's the kind of person to ride a bike, put something in the spoke of her wheels, fall off, and then blame something else. It's like that shitty meme. Where it's upsetting that if you step back and look at this series as a whole, it's basically some girl who killed herself and looks at some people around her and go, "No, you're the problem. You're the reason I did this. All 13 of you. Fuck off. Really, fuck off." No one actually thinks like that. And if they do, then it's no wonder that they killed themselves. Honestly, she's not even a good decision maker. She kind of puts herself in these situations where if you had acted like a normal person, nothing bad would have happened to you. Like, Jesus. And granted, I'll kind of let that slide because for the sake of progressing the story, it kind of has to be that way. There's a guy who leaks her, not even nudes, just like really embarrassing photos after they kissed. It was her first kiss. And like everyone pretty much gets a message from that person's phone because his friends take it away and they're like, "Ooh, cooties," or whatever the fuck. And now everyone's just like, "Oh my god, Hannah, you're a slut. Oh my god." Like, stereotypical high school stuff. Again, I have to pardon for the sake of the story being progressed. It's fine. I get it. But for her to turn around and like not take any accountability for the things that she's done, for her to just blame all 13 of these people is a piece of shit thing. Like, I do not feel any sympathy for this character whatsoever. At all. Fuck you, Hannah. And that's kind of gotten vibes from like Amanda Todd, where people were like, "Oh, this girl, she's kind of questionable, but she committed suicide, so let's white knight for her." Like, no, I'm not so sure about that. Maybe she shouldn't have done a few things. It's too late to say no now. But this story is basically Amanda Todd 2.0, and people are falling for it. It's silly. And I'm sure the book was written beforehand, but it just seems way too similar. I'm not saying that this was incorporated to the story on purpose, but that's the reason I don't like it. And from what I understand, back when Amanda Todd was relevant, no one really sympathized for her per se after like the first month. They were like, yeah, she kind of sent nudes to people and she wasn't the nicest girl. So, rest in peace, but not gonna say we're surprised or anything. Again, I've only watched up to 2 episodes because I can't stomach the rest. I wanted to give it a fair chance, but these characters are just not likable. The way they interact with each other, the scenarios they're being put into are just odd. They're not something that happens in real life. And that kind of takes you out of the mood, which, again, plot progression, I guess. Not really, but I guess. And I thought I was being crazy. That, is she supposed to be not mentally challenged, but depressed or something? Because normally you just leave a suicide note. You don't make a bunch of cute little tapes, little mixtapes that I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna pepper around and I'm gonna have a little confidant after I die to send my mixtapes out to these 13 people. Fuck off. Are you kidding me? It's a despicable thing. Not only are you gonna like kill yourself and potentially put these 13 people like in danger when they've, more or less acted like normal teens, for them to, possibly be arrested or something just because of your perception and not taking responsibility for some of the things you did. Again, she's not responsible for everything, but to go and point at these people and say, fuck you, you did this. No, that's not gonna fly, miss. Drink bleach. And one thing I will say is pretty ballsy about the show. I'm pretty sure the last episode they do this really gross like cutting her wrist scene that scared people. We all know she commits suicide. That's not a spoiler, and I'm not planning to spoil it for anyone. By all means, if you want to go watch it, go watch it. It's totally up for grabs. But I'm telling you, there's better stuff on Netflix. You could probably see that Adam Sandler movie that they just put out recently. I think it's called like Wendell Supreme or something. Go to town on that. It's honestly probably a more useful and enjoyable use of your time, because this will frustrate you. Even as a teen, the core audience is meant to be me. I don't know what you want from me. It's really it's just not that great. So, as I had stated before, she's supposed to be depressed, but she's doing all these little things here and there that are just like kind of emotional teen stuff that's not necessarily out of touch. At least like, you being sad or whatever. So I decided to give it a Google. I thought I was being too hypercritical, and I wanted to get a bit more research, a second opinion. And no, apparently this is a problem that schools are getting involved with, saying, hey, you don't need to show your kids this. I'm not going to defend that. I think if you want to watch it, go ahead. But these schools are going in and saying, hey, for legitimate concerns and reasons, there's already suicidal teens. And for them to watch this and basically have Hannah, her little story be romanticized, oh, it's so cute to kill yourself and send your little mixtapes to people. There's a legitimate concern that these people who are depressed or suicidal will jump to the conclusion that, hey, I can have it just like this girl. It's the easy way out. I don't have to worry about it anymore. I'm not going to defend that, alright? I don't know that someone who is emotionally compromised would want to watch this. I don't know. Again, it's that demographic. It's marketed towards us. So take that as you will. But parents alike are also saying, hey kids, before you watch this show, let me sit you down. We'll talk about the birds and the bees and the nooses. Please don't kill yourself over this TV show. Don't be inspired by this wannabe Amanda Todd. Just don't do it. I mean, the fewer people watching this show, the better. I'm just saying, personally, I think the show is trash. It does not deserve all of the attention it's getting. And I'm not gonna suggest some sort of like a piece of shit deuce kind of like, oh, well, this show is much better, because I'm not here to shit on someone's opinions. This is just my own opinion. Take it as you will. How long has it been? How long have I been live streaming? Almost 20 minutes straight. So, in other news, Boku no Hero Academia, and I know that's a really messy segue into this. Boku no Hero Academia, doing some good stuff. Oh, God. I don't know how I feel about it. I've already said this on previous live streams, but it doesn't feel like much important is going on plot-wise. It is building Mr. Fuck, I forget that green-haired kid's name. Fucking dickhead. It's building his character arc. He's progressing. He's not the shy little piece of shit who was like, "Ooh, I don't know about this." He's kind of growing into his own, and he has to with a quirk like all for one. You have to. If you're planning to replace All Might, you got to. Some interesting stuff is happening with the side characters. That half ice, half fire guy is getting a huge push right now, and honestly, I'm not a fan of it. It's not done in a way that's subtle. It's just sort of like, hey, this guy's way too powerful to be kept under wraps. He did some overpowered shit in the first season, and he's doing more overpowered stuff. To be fair, his quirk is just like that. I don't think they're making him unnecessarily strong. He just is that way. But, I don't know how I feel about that. I think out of all of the characters, it makes sense that he would get this huge push. What the fuck? Okay, apparently the live stream stopped and then started again. My bad, guys. I'm probably gonna wrap it up soon, probably in like a few minutes. We're gonna end on this. And, fuck, you made me lose my train of... But it feels like a lot of other characters are being swept under the rug. Characters that were kind of important in the first season have just kind of been AFK as of now. Not the worst thing ever. They're still around, it's just less of a focus. So you get Bakugo, you get fucking Frozone meets Lava Girl. That kid is doing some dank stuff. And I still don't know where the villainy at large really fits into the story. The whole Sports Academy festival is being broadcast to, I assume, the world. It's not just Japan that has these quirks, it's the world. Keep that in mind when you're watching it, because that's crazy. We're only getting this small little section. And of course, All Might is from America, I'm fairly sure, because any smash he does, shout out to him doing the Texas Smash. That's the biggest, strongest one there is, unless he can just do like Earth Smash, which I don't know, that'd probably disintegrate his body. And the stream keeps cutting off and on. God damn it, OBS. You're a wacky one. It's crazy. And hopefully you guys are keeping an eye on that, because it is something worth watching. I think One Punch Man is coming back this year. I want to say it is. I hope they're not working on a dub. That's always like the worst thing to me. And motherfuck, I'm probably gonna cut the stream short like in a few minutes right now. Yeah, no shit. Thanks for watching, everyone. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Tell me what you thought of 13 Reasons Why. Give me 13 reasons why you like it. And I'll talk to you later. See ya.